Okay, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat. Baruch Hashem. Oh, what another beautiful day here in Efrat. What beautiful weather we have. What beautiful, it's just beautiful.
You see the sky?
The sky, everything's just.
Color, yeah.
This is mamish the place to be. This is the place to be. All right, Baruch Hashem. All right, so with Siyata D'Shmaya, of course, we always need Siyata D'Shmaya when we're learning Torah, especially when we're learning Likutey Halachos from Rav Nosson, and we're in Hilchos Tefillin, Halacha Hey, and we're in the middle of letter Tes Vav, in middle of letter 15. Okay, that's where we ended off yesterday. All right, and we talked about the Bechar yesterday, right? We said that in the Tefillin, the first parsha in the Tefillin is Kaddish Li Kol Bechar, Mipet Rechem, right? Sanctify me every firstborn, and then we give it over to the Kohen, because the Kohen is the Zakin, the Kedusha, right? The Kohen is that the holy elder, we said, right? And the holy elder can instill into the child the idea, the principle of constantly being new. Give that over to the child, and then the parents can then be poda, they can now redeem the child. They can redeem the child, and then they can raise that child with the pasuk in Kriya Shema v'shinamtam levanecha v'dibarta bam. Teach them, make the children understand this concept that the Kohen just gave them over, that you're always a new person. Always start again. You can always start again. You're always new. Make it get closer and closer to Hashem using that. Okay?
Does that actually say that in there?
Let's say what in there?
What you just said?
That's what it's.
It's always new?
Yeah, that's the whole theme of what we're talking about.
I have to share that. I have to find that.
Constantly new. That's what the Kohen is giving over. Yeah, the Kohen's giving that over. That idea, that concept. Okay, so now today, Mitzvah Hashem, again, we need a lot of Siyata D'Shmaya. So the Rebbe is going to go on now. He's going to talk about V'zeh Bechinas Mashiach. This is an aspect of Mashiach, the Messiah. Wow. The Messiah, we're waiting. Today he's going to come, Mitzvah Hashem. Ay, please Hashem. Sha'omar boy, ani hayoim iladeticha. How do you like that? It says we're by Mashiach, right? In Tehillim, that's in Tehillim Beis, Pasuk Zion. If you want to look it up, it's in the second chapter, and it's in the 7th verse. Okay, Ani hayoim iladeticha. Today I'm born. Ani hayoim. I was born today. I'm born today. I'm new. Wow, Mashiach. Mashiach is going to give us that perspective that we're mamish new people. Wow. In other words, Hashem is saying that you're so beautiful to me, right? The same way the child, when the father sees his child for the first time. Right, with that newness, that new baby. Remember that time, the first moment you saw wow, that special moment. Every day Hashem looks at us that way.
You know, we never yelled at a new baby for coming out.
No?
We didn't get angry with him.
Right, when he was screaming.
No, it's like we don't.
There's only joy.
There's only joy.
Only
Yes.
joy. Only joy. Only joy.
And that's from being new every day.
New. Yeah, but it's a new baby. So you have to feel that same simcha every day.
Every day.
Feel that simcha. Feel that joy. Feel that joy that the parent has, that first moment that they hold that child. Wow. It's so sweet. Just even to have that nice thought, right? Just for take a second to think about that. That's so special.
You should have it for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone should think like that, right? That same joy that they had the first time you hold that baby.
And that's how Hashem sees us.
That's how Hashem sees us every day.
Ooh, that's a wow.
Ki Mashiach yizkel lebechina zois b'shleimus shehu bechinas chayim arukim. Because Mashiach it personifies this idea of chayim arukim. right? Lengthening the time. How do you lengthen the time? It's always new, and you make something of that time, of that segment, that present moment. Make something of the present moment. Constantly make something of the present moment. Because that's all you have. You only have the present moment. And it's what you do with that present moment is what the past will be. Right? You're making the past with the present moment. Every day you have to live this way, as if today, mamish, I'm born. Reb Nosson is giving it to us in so many different ways. He really wants us to understand this concept. Sasha, what do you think, huh? It's wonderful. It's mamish. It's a wonderful concept. It's the ki Mashiach yasik bechinas lamala me'azman, because Mashiach he attains the concept of lamala me'azman. It's something that transcends time. Mashiach transcends time. Right? We get stuck in time, right? We get stuck. Oh well, I did this, that, and the other thing, right? And we get stuck in time. Right? We get stuck in time. We get stuck in the past. We get stuck in time.
So when you say stuck in time, is that what you're saying, stuck in the past?
We get stuck in the past, yeah.
However, we practice being new every day. We don't have
I understand.
to be. We can be like the Mashiach.
We can be like, exactly, we can be. But otherwise, the problem is that people are always constantly stuck in the past, and because they're stuck in the past, they can't go forward. They're carrying their baggage with them constantly, and it can't bring them closer. It's too heavy. The baggage is too heavy to go forward. Right? You ever have baggage? It's very heavy. The bags are heavy, right? It's hard to carry them.
We go slower. You can still go forward, but you can go slower.
Okay, but you get tired. You get tired. You can do that for you can do that for a little while, but if you're not carrying anything with you, then you can go, right? Right? If you're not carrying anything, then it's a pleasure to take a walk.
You could run.
You could do whatever you want.
Jump.
But that's the day. That's the new day. In other words, don't get stuck in the past. Don't carry all of that stuff, because then it's just going to weigh you down.
Last night I took the train from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and in Jerusalem the escalators just stopped.
Oh wow!
And people had suitcases from the
Yeah, they
airport.
do. Yeah, sure.
Oh my gosh! People were helping each other. You know, the older people.
They couldn't take the suitcase. How could they? Wow.
It was really, and those escalators. Whoa! They go forever. They're huge.
Wow, and they didn't work, and they stopped working.
They started up again, but
But they have an elevator there too. You know that, right?
Yeah.
There isn't.
Yeah, but they were like, the people just kept coming. You know, how many people can get on an elevator? You know, I mean.
No, but I mean, there is.
They could have, but they're already. On
Yeah, no,
escalator.
you're right. Okay, but
really
but that's
tough.
such a beautiful thing how everyone helps each other.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. You're talking about bags here.
Yeah.
See that?
And that's what we do. We can help people get rid of their baggage.
But
By being a model, by being a role
by
model.
being exactly, and praying for them, right?
Yeah.
We can't, right. We can't get into people's minds,
No.
and all of that in their space. That's their space, right? So they have to work on how to do that on their own.
Yeah.
We can't do that for people.
We can pray for them.
We could, you can always do that. That's our job, right? The world was created for you, right? It was for me. The world's created, so I'm responsible. I have to pray for the world, right? Okay, we learned the concepts, right? Okay. Because Mashiach transcends time, so he's not stuck in anything. He transcends the time. He can go forward because he's not bogged down. Right? As Rabbi Nachman says, you can see if you want to understand this. It's in the second book in lesson 61. If you want to see that, if you want to learn a little bit more about this concept, in the second book 61. You could see over there. Because of the great level of Mashiach Tzidkenu that Mitzvah Hashem we're going to meet very soon, right? Okay, and through this, Mashiach is going to show us that we're not attached to all the things of the past. Yes, we have to make rectifications for those things, but you don't have to carry those things all the time. You don't need to carry them with you. Free yourself from it. Free yourself from the burden of time. Transcend time. Ki bechina zois shetispoya ha'iver. This is the aspect that the blind person, right, the blind beggar, that he took so much pride in. He took so much pride. Shu zokim v'yanik. He said, I'm old, but I'm young. Because hayom yiladeticha, right? He said that today I was just born. He understood that. He's new. And the whole world is not worth him even a blink an eye. Because again, he knows what's important. The world is telling him, no, you have to study the past, you need to pass the past. It's going to... No, I don't need it. I don't need it. It's not worth anything to him. You see, Mamish could free us. Mamish free us. Wow. Kol zehu bechinas lamala min hazman. All this concept is lamala min hazman. This whole concept that we're learning is higher than time. We don't have to be stuck in time. Time was something that Hashem created, right? Time is something that Hashem created. Hashem created the concept of time. That's part of creation. So we can be lamala min hazman. We can go higher than time. Because our neshamas come from a higher place than time that's before Hashem created time. So that means I'm not bound by the time. Do you understand? You can be bound by it if you choose to, but you don't have to be bound by it.
But I also learned a technique out of it, which I mentioned before, because there's this rule of one-time learning, that because it happened one time,
Yeah.
you think it's going to happen for the rest of your life.
What is, I don't...
Your father beat you.
Okay.
Whatever. I don't, people are always yelling at you when you call them on the phone. I can't get on the phone. I can't talk to people.
Right, because they have a phobia.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have these phobias that have developed because of what happened to us when we were brought up. And the rule of one-time learning means that because it happened one time,
It's going to
it's
constantly...
going to constantly happen.
Well, there is a concept like that too, that, when you do something in this world, in the next world, it's always ongoing.
So you got to stop it.
Right, so again, we studied that concept. Rabbi Nachman said that in Sichas Haran, in the Book of Wisdom, so Rabbi Nachman says that if a person realizes they did something and they made an aveira, right? So right away do a mitzvah, because you want to stop that. You don't want it to keep going on. You don't want it to keep going. You want to stop it. You want to stop it in its tracks. So right away do a mitzvah. Give a pruta tzedakah. Give say a kapitel tehillim. Whatever you can do some kind of mitzvah to break the trend. Okay. So it's lamala min hazman. So there bechinas chayim arukim sheyizka Mashiach. This is the idea of the lengthening the time, lengthening your time, longevity, right? Sheyizka Mashiach, that Mashiach is merits, okay? Bechinas chayim shel mimcha nasata. David HaMelech chai v'kayim, shehu bechinas David HaMelech Yisrael chai v'kayim. We know David Melech Yisrael, we sing the song. David Melech Yisrael chai v'kayim, right? We know the song, right? We know those words, right? Right, we know the words, right? Yeah. David Melech Yisrael chai v'kayim. Why? But you're going to tell me, but David HaMelech died. No, David HaMelech is living on. David HaMelech Yisrael chai v'kayim, because again, his teachings and his things are all here. And his Tehillim is here. We attach ourselves to it. It's constantly going on. It's constantly on. It's going. Ki David hu Mashiach, because David is Mashiach Tzidkenu. Arichas Yamim. David HaMelech is Mashiach Tzidkenu. And that's why Adam Arishan realized that he brought death into the world, right? Adam Arishan realized that. His mistake. And that's why Adam Arishan gave 70 years of his life to David Melech HaMashiach, because he realized that David Melech HaMashiach will redeem him from his mistake. Amazing. Really, it's fascinating when you learn the inner the teachings of the Torah, the deeper.
Adam Arishan gave.
Adam did, Adam gave 70, isn't that what I said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm not sure what you said. Sorry.
Adam Rishon only lived 930 years.
He lived 930. He was supposed to live 1,000 years. He gave 70 years over to. He gave 70 years of his years to David HaMelech. Amazing that he was able to do that, right?
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem. V'zeh bechinas tefillin shesham shoirish nishmas Mashiach. And this is an aspect of tefillin. Wow, this concept is an aspect of tefillin, because we're learning about erech hapayim, right? We're learning the idea of savlanut, to take a deep breath, take it easy, don't act on impulse, right? Don't get stuck in time, don't get stuck. That's what tefillin is teaching us, right? Bechinas tefillin shesham shoirish nishmas Mashiach. Then the shoirish of the neshama of Mashiach is found in the tefillin. Wow. The source of the soul of Mashiach is found in our tefillin. You want to know how much you should pay for your tefillin, right? You like that? It was good. The source of the soul of Mashiach is found in the tefillin. It's amazing, right? Wow. Bechinas keshes is a shorish malchus Mashiach. Listen to this: the shorish of malchus Mashiach, the root of the kingdom of Mashiach. Hu bechinas keshes shel tefillin. That's the knot of the tefillin. What's the knot made out of? The knot's made out of the ritzua, right? The strap, right? You make the knot out of the strap, right? So you have the ar hapanim. We said is the ritzua. The 370 lights, and you make the strap, you make the knot from the strap, so you're binding all the light together. You're making it very potent. You're binding it all together. You're binding it together, okay? Kesher shel tefillin. Because the whole idea of the tefillin is, again, the meichen, the mind. Tefillin is to prompt our minds, right? To make our minds think. Remember, we started by saying the whole idea is the thunder in the mind, right? This is where the lesson started, right? Right? It's all about making the thunder. So when you see the tefillin, you realize all these things. Wow, it gets the mind to think, and it could send the nekuda kedosha down to the heart to straighten out the heart, right? But this is really the whole process that we're learning. This is all the same thing, but it's just showing you how important these tefillin are. So when you take them in and go, wow, it startles the mind. When you understand what this is, wow! I have here the source of the soul of Mashiach in my hand. Wow, what is this? Right? When you understand that, we understand. We have no idea how lofty these tefillin are.
So, but my soul is enclosed in my body.
Yeah, your soul. Yeah, okay.
And he's in every tefillin.
A part of your soul is enclosed in your body.
Right. So, but in every tefillin, there's.
The same way that they say that Moshe Rabbeinu is buried in the soul of every single Jew. Where's Moshe Rabbeinu? He's in your soul. He's in every soul of every Jew. Right? Okay. Again, this is the material learning. I can't explain to you exactly how the soul of Mashiach, the source of the soul of Mashiach is found in the tefillin. I don't understand that. Okay. But I can explain to you is that this is what we're learning here, and it gives me a new appreciation, a better appreciation of what my tefillin are, and how I really can't comprehend anything of really what these things are. These things are so lofty, it's so amazing. That's what I take from it. That's what I take. That's what I take from it. And we learned about Mashiach. He has that aspect of Hayom Yiladaticha. I was born today. So when I see my tefillin, I have to remember that. I'm new again today. Kaddish li kol b'char, right? Like we keep saying, Kaddish li kol b'char, the kohen, right? Giving over this perspective to the child. K'may shemar b'seinu zal shezeh b'chinas v'hoyse nefesh hadoini tzurura b'tzura chayim. The Navi Shmuel says, v'hoyse nefesh hadoini, and it was that the nefesh of my master, tzrura b'tzura chayim, is bound. Tzrura means to be tied, bound. Like we're talking about the kesher from the tefillin, right? You tie it, right? Tzrura b'tzura chayim is bound up with the source of life, b'tzura chayim, with the binding of life. Wow. Just to realize this, Hanema b'David shehu Mashiach. Shmuel HaNavi was saying this when he was dealing with David HaMelech, right? Shmuel HaNavi went and he anointed David HaMelech, right? Shmuel HaNavi went to do that. Amazing, right? He went to all of those children of Yishai, right? And all of those children, all of the great children. He said, no, that's not him. No, that's not him. No, not him.
Right.
Not him. No, not this one.
Yeah.
What do you mean, not this one? No, not this one.
This one?
Him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one we want. That's the one we want. Unbelievable, right? What does that tell you? What does that
judge.
tell you? Don't judge anyone.
Yeah.
Don't judge anybody. Don't judge anyone where they look, if they this, they have that kind of haircut, this kind of, who cares what they, it's not, don't worry about it. It's all what's inside. It's all what's inside. And if that story with Shmuel HaNavi and David HaMelech doesn't teach that, then tell me what would. Tell me what would. Shmuel HaNavi, he was a Navi, right? He was a great Navi. And Shmuel HaNavi, he was having trouble with this. He was praying to Hashem. He says, I don't know, I don't see the child. I don't see what you're telling me to do. I don't get it. Shmuel HaNavi. Wow. Okay. Tzor HaChaim. Zeh bechinas kesher shel tefillin. The Tzor HaChaim is the kesher of tefillin. When you want to know about the bindings of life, it's in your tefillin. It's in the tefillin. See, this is the Tzor HaChaim in the tefillin. Bechinas chayim aruchim. The whole idea of lengthening your time, making something of your day, making something of every segment of your life, making something of it. Make something that you're proud of. Make something that you're proud of. When you look back at it, you say, wow, that's something amazing. Look back at it, because every day, because don't forget, every day before you go to sleep, you make that cheshbon hanefesh, right? So you look back, you go through the day, you go, wow, look at all those segments, look what I was able to accomplish today. Make something of the day, so you're proud of that day, right? Right, and then we make sure we go over the day before we go to sleep each night. We go over all the aspects of the day, and by doing that, we can make whatever rectifications we have to make, and we can lift those things up as well. So we don't lose any of our time.
So when we do that at night, that leaves us open to the next day as a new day.
Right, because if I settled all my accounts of that day before, so when I get up in the morning, I really feel fresh. I'm not stuck with all of that stuff. It's a system. You see how beautiful the system is?
It's incredible.
It's an incredible system. Clear up your accounts, clear up everything, settle all your books, right? You're an accountant, right? You have to balance the book. Do all of that before you go to sleep. Get it all out of the way. When you start in the way, wow, it's all done. It's all done. I'm new. It's fresh today. I have to deal with that. I filed the return, right? You're an accountant, right? You filed the return. The return is done. It's done. I uploaded it. I did what I had to do with it, right? It's done. That's it. It's great. It's great. This is the program. Isn't it a beautiful program? Okay, Chayim Aruchim. Okay, then it should be every time, in every moment, everything of each day. This is how we have to do it. So this is we finished this beautiful, I mean, what a way to finish the system, right? Right? This letter, 15, right? Yeah. This was, this is 15. Yeah, we finished, unbelievable how to finish 15 in this way, right? Do you agree, Sasha? Mordechai, you agree?
15 steps in the Beit HaMikdash?
Yeah, okay. I don't remember that. I'm sorry. Okay. I don't remember how many steps. You remember how many steps there were? I don't know. Okay, so anyway, let's see if we can go a little further. Any questions on all of this that we learned? We learned a lot of stuff just now. Right, the Tzor HaChaim, right? We said that the neshama of Mashiach is found inside the source, and the neshama is found inside the kesher of the tefillin, right? Because that's the Tzor HaChaim, right? The Tzor HaChaim, right? That's right. Wow, all in our tefillin, all in our holy tefillin. Wow. All right, so let's see if we can do Tez Zayin, okay? And does anyone want to say anything? Any comments? No. We're good? Okay, excellent. Okay. What?
No, it's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. It's so redeeming. It's so wonderful. Right?
Yeah.
So now we're going to learn a little bit more about the length of the ritzuas, these little straps that they're long. we're going to learn about what it means long, and we're going to take it the next step. So Nassim gave us the background, really what the Ritzua was, just to remind ourselves what was the whole idea of the Ritzua. The whole idea of the Ritzua is 370. Right, 370. Me'aver hayabuk. Right, we learned about yabuk. Right, we learned yabuk, which we said is Bucky. Right, Bucky we said is two. We learned two systems of Shemus of Hashem. Right, we learned one system of Bucky that was Yud K Vav K, and then we had Adnus and we had Ekya. Right, so that all those three names equal up to 112. Okay, and that's the gematria of Bucky. Right, we have to be a Bucky Bahalacha, right? Is what we learned. Remember, a Bucky Bahalacha, right? What kind of Bucky Bahalacha? We have to know how to go up and how to go down, right? Bucky Barotzi, Bucky B'shav, right? I need to understand when I'm going close to Hashem, when I'm coming away from Hashem, I'm having my Aliyah Yerida. Or we understand it as Bucky Ba'ayel, Bucky B'nofek. Same idea, going up, coming down. I have to know how to go up and down. Like a sulam, right? And we learned it from Yaakov Avinu. Sulam mutzav arza v'roishe megia shmaima, right? The ladder was planted in the ground, in the earth, right? Mutzav arza, right? Mutzav arza v'roishe megia shmaima. And then malachim were oilim v'yardim. They were going up and down. So we have to know that we're always going to be going up and down as well, right? The angels were going up and down. We're going up and down as well. We learned this all from the idea of the Bucky Bahalacha, okay? And then we said and then we said that the idea is the Ritzua, right? The Ritzua we said is 370, equals 370 compared to the Shin Ayin Oiros, which is the code for Or HaPanim. Anytime you see Or HaPanim, you're talking about 370 lights. That's what the Or HaPanim is. Okay, anytime you're learning something, you'll know you learned something nice, right? That's a teaching from the Arizal.
The Boki with Yabok.
Yeah.
Boki and Yabok. What's the?
That's 112.
Yeah, and what's the connection? Boki and Yabok.
So we said that the Ritzua. Okay. So the Bucky we said is also Yud K Vav K and Elikim. Elikim, right? Yud K Vav K is the second system of Bucky that we learned. Yud K Vav K and Elikim is also 112, right? So we said we have the Mabarta of the Tefillin, right? That little passageway in the back of the bias of the Tefillin, right? The housing of the Tefillin, we have that little passageway, and the Ritzua goes through the Mabarta, right? Goes through. So the right side of the Ritzua is the Chesed. The left side is the Din. Right side is the Yud K Vav K. The left side is the Yud is Elikim. 86 and 26 makes 112. You understand? That was the idea of Bucky over there, right? Good?
Yeah.
And that's why on the Yad you tie the knot. The Yud is on the right side, right? You need the Yud on the right side because we want to dominate always the Chesed over the Din, right? We want to dominate the Chesed over the Din, like we learned yesterday. We tie the Tefillin on the left hand. The left arm is the weaker arm, right? The left arm is the weaker arm. We tie the Tefillin on it because we want to keep the Din in check. We want to keep the Din in check. So we use the right arm, right? We use the right arm to take the Ritzua, right? To take that strap. And I take that strap, that long strap, and I go around the arm. And I'm going around and around and around, lengthening the time. Right? You understand? Mm-hmm. Any other question? Does that help understand it? That's the Bucky. So now you understand how Bucky applies to the Ritzua, right? Okay, let's go on now. Okay, Ki Kedusha, the Rebbe says now, V'zeh b'chines Ritzua shel roish sheyaredes me'akesher ad hatabar. So now the Rebbe says that this is the idea of the Ritzua, the strap that's on the head tefillin. It goes down all the way to the belly button. Has to go down at least, it can go a little more, but it has to go at least that long. At least that long. Don't let it be shorter, right? And you'll notice that the tefillin straps, they're two different lengths. They're not both the same length, and it's not a mistake. We're going to learn now. That's not a mistake, okay? They can be longer, but they shouldn't be shorter than that. All right? Ki kidushas tefillin hu nimshach bechinas hazakenim shezochu lekadesh moicham kol kach. Because the whole idea of the tefillin comes from this concept, like we're learning about the Zikanim, these elders, the elders in the story of the 7 beggars, right? The elders. They merited to purify their minds, so much so that they were able to recall all these amazing events of where they came from, right? Each one was able to purify their mind in another way, in another special way. So he was able to remember a little further back. To recall back. Should we review that, or we're okay with it?
How did he purify his mind?
Because he's always new.
And also
Always working on new, because I get rid of all of that junk that's in my mind, right? We fill up our mind with our mind's filled with all of that junk. But if I'm new, my mind's not filled with that junk. I can empty it out.
Right,
I hit delete. Isn't it great that system, right? You can like highlight all that stuff and go delete. Wow.
well, but to prevent it from going in,
What?
with your
I don't know exactly how this works, because we always say that, another man, someone who learns in the old age, and to someone who is like in the young, like it's like writing on a parchment that was erased.
Yeah.
So that's so that my past kind of sticks there. It's not never.
No. So the past stays for good things. You keep that. All the levels that you acquired, in learning of Torah, you can hold on to that. But the other stuff, get rid of the other stuff. Get rid of the other baggage. If anything that can help you go further in your Avodah Hashem, hold on to that. Anything that's going to hold you back, delete it. Why?
No, the parchment still is dirty.
So clean it.
That's good. Yeah, clean it.
But we're saying that every day you get a new parchment. Don't you understand? You're stuck on the old parchment. It's dirty. I have a brand new sheet today. Brand new parchment. They etched the lines in. I can start writing today.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I understand. Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I understand what you mean, but that's why Reb Nosson is trying to teach us this again and again. We have to understand this newness.
Okay.
I am new today. I don't care what they told me. I'm new today.
I'm all for it.
We don't have to get stuck. We don't have to be stuck in the past. Hayoim yiladaticha. Hayoim yiladati. We were born today. Niladati hayoim. I was born today.
But we can also not let the stuff in, so it doesn't affect us, and that's why we have the tefillin also.
That's the blind beggar. He didn't let the stuff in. He didn't see it. He chose not to look at those things.
Well,
He had selective vision.
Well, but it's what we see with our eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, our eyes, our nose, our ears, what we listen to, what we speak, what we let into if we watch the news, that's all letting stuff in.
We said that's all the mind, right? The mind sends the message to the eyes. Look at this. The mind says the message to the ears.
Purify. You don't look at that stuff.
You don't. To it. The mind says, I want to see this. He said, no, we're not looking at that. No, we're not looking at Shmiras Einayim. I'm not looking at that. I want to listen to this. No. We're not listening to that. Shmiras Einayim. I got to watch my ears. I got to watch what I'm listening to, right? And then the mind says, okay, let's talk about this. No, we're not talking about that. No.
The mind said, let's eat that.
No, we're not. It's all the mind. It's all the mind. Say how you train your mind. This is what we're learning, how to train them.
Today, you said it's all the power of the mind. That's what you were talking about.
It's the power of the mind. That's it.
Yeah.
The mind, all of the senses that we have, right? The eyes, the nose, the ears, right? That's it. They're all of the what do you call it? They're all the tools of the mind. They're all the tools of the mind, and the mind uses them as it wants to.
So you train your mind to remain pure.
Exactly, by what you see, what you hear, what you eat, and the more you work on that, the better, the more the purity the person will acquire. Until they were able to remember back when they cut the umbilical cord, the belly button, the unbelievable, right?
Well, that's why you have to connect the belly button with
the strap.
the strap. That's part of
To
the whole
remind
system.
you, to remind me, wow, look, you see, it goes down to, wow, that's where I started.
Yeah.
That's where I can recall back that I started. We're going to see now in a minute, okay? Because the main completion of birth, when does the birth really complete? When is it complete? Shu bechinas tefillin, bechinas kaddish li kol b'cha peta kol rechem. Like we learned, that's the first parsha in the tefillin. Sanctify for me the firstborn. So we're talking about it. Chatichas hatabor. So the whole process of the birth is finished when they cut the umbilical cord. So long as the mother is attached to the child, the umbilical cord is attached to the mother with the child's not on his own. The birth is completed when they cut the umbilical cord, they tie the tabor, they tie the belly button. Then the birth is completed. You ever look at it that way? The birth is not complete when the baby is still attached to the mother, because she's still attached to the mother. It's not complete. I never thought of that before I learned this. I never really thought about that. What's the completion of the birthing process?
So that's how you know the exact moment and time and date that you were born. When you cut the cord.
Maybe that's when they count. I don't know. Is that when they?
I don't know, but that's what they should be doing, no?
Well, they do that pretty fast after it's born.
Oh yeah, they have to.
So,
Right.
So it's within seconds, when it's counted, I guess. Right, that's it.
I think it would be dangerous for the baby to be attached right once the baby's out.
Well, I've seen these things where the baby is attached.
Yeah.
And in a bath birthing,
Yeah.
the baby is swimming around attached to the mother
Yeah.
because he's still able to breathe underwater because he's still attached. So, I mean, I don't know. I just know that I've seen that.
I don't know. Okay. There's some crazy stuff out there. We're talking about a normal birthing here. The completion of the birth is when they cut the umbilical cord. Okay, that's where we are. What they do out there, who knows? Okay. All right. Now, Malki never be Yetzias Mitzrayim. That's where it says by Yetzias Mitzrayim. When we were on the lowest level, right? We were on the lowest level when we went out of Egypt, right? We were on the lowest level. But Hashem took us out, right? Okay, umayladet sayich biyoim huladas oischa, right? Loi kares shorach. What does that mean? He says like this: Vaynu shekoidim sheyotzu hayu doimim livlad asher b'mei imay v'loi kares tabaroi ayin sham. So in other words, while we were in Egypt, right? While we were in Egypt, it was as if we were in our mother's womb. We were in the womb, and we didn't get cut away from it yet. We didn't cut the tabor yet. It was as if it wasn't cut. But now, ki ikka tefillin hu b'chinas yetzias Mitzrayim. But the whole thing of tefillin is leaving Egypt, is getting out of Egypt, leaving, being birthed. We're getting out, starting again. We as a nation, we discussed yesterday, we were birthed as a nation when we left Egypt yesterday. Remember we said that?
Yeah.
And that's when we became the nation.
So we were all born at the same time.
We were all born at the same time. Right. We had that's what we were able to be by Har Sinai, believe ki ish echad v'leiv echad. Right? Because we started as one. We were all one. So when we got to Har Sinai, when we got to the accepting of the Torah, so we were all standing there as one person, right, with one heart. Ki'ish echad b'leiv echad, with one heart. Wow. Bechinas hayloda, being born. Shehu bechinas chatichas hatabar. That's the idea of cutting the umbilical cord. Ki af al pi sheshar zekedim zochru oid yoser v'yoser. Even though the other elders, they remembered a lot more. Remember? They made fun of the first one. They said, what do you mean? That's all you know? You could remember only back to the time that they cut the umbilical cord? I remember when I was inside my mother's womb. And the other one said, what do you mean? I remember when I was being created, right? Each one was saying so much more. They were able to recall back much more, right? But what's the point of this? Even though we can't we can really only relate to the first one, the cutting of the umbilical cord, coming into this world. The other ones, they're very, very lofty. It's hard for us to ever fathom those levels. Those levels are so far, they're so far away from us. They're so far. Because again, it's something that's not part of this world.
Right. You can't remember being the seed in your father's mind. You know,
No, we
Could,
can,
could,
but this is something Rav Nosson says, wow, this is a really real. These are super high levels, super high
if
levels.
we can get to the umbilical cord, we're in good shape.
Right, He can remember the chatichas ataba, the umbilical. Wow, being born into the world, being introduced, and if I can remember that moment, wow. Rav Nosson says, halavai, we can remember that. Halavai, we can go purify ourselves so much so that we can recall that. Because it's in our minds. It's in there.
You can if you really had some.
It's
tools to
in
do
there.
it.
It's in there. It's all in there, right? We saw it, right?
Who's tried to do that? Really seriously. If you've really seriously learned about it.
But that's what Hashem gave us. Got rid of all the chamates before He gave us the Torah.
Yeah.
We were like that.
Yeah.
It's possible to get back
We
there.
can. Yeah, we can. Yes.
You have to think it's possible.
No, of course. That's what we're learning about the tefillin. Watch. Who ikar bechinas atfillin shemedaber me'ayalodu? Because that's the whole point of the tefillin. That's talking about being birthed. Kadesh li kol bechor mi peter rechem. Sanctify me, every firstborn, and Klal Yisrael and But you'll say to me, but I'm not a firstborn. You know what? Hashem says about the Jewish people, B'ni b'chayri Yisrael.
We're all first.
Are you a Jew? You're part of the Jewish tribe. You're part of the Jews. You're a bechar on some level, on some aspect. Bechinas kadosh li kol bechar, all bechayrim. V'halavai sheniskil lekabel kedushasei. Halavai. How we should merit to take on this kedusha to recall back what we have to recall, something so special. Rav Nosson saying, if you want to remember things of the past, you're bent out of shape, and you want to go back. So I'll tell you what you should think about. Think about that. If you have to go in the past, go think about that, because you were pure then. Right? You're just born. You're pure. So think about a pure moment, a very, very pure moment. Isn't that so special?
My mind is still searching to go back there.
Okay. All right, we're working on it. Okay. It's a life's work. Yeah. But again, he's telling you, if you want to go back, don't go back to those other events.
Right.
Go back to the original event where you were introduced into this world because you were just born today. So recall back that, because that's how you can remember how you just started again today. In the same way, I had to start then, and I filled my mind. Their minds were filled with all of this stuff through the time. So today, I could start again. It's a clean slate. Tabula rasa. It's a clean state.
I think that's a more important state to get to than going back to the umbilical cord. I mean, what are you going to do with that? Going back to the umbilical cord?
No, because when you remember that you went back to that time, you were pure at that time. You had nothing in the mind. You can restart everything.
Right.
You're not held back by anything.
Right.
There's no limitations.
Right. We can.
If the baby has all the possibilities, that baby, when he's just born, has all the possibilities in the world.
But we're saying so do we.
So do you and I.
Right now. But
right now, we're just born.
That's what we get to deal with. I mean, that's.
No, but how do you know that? Because again, I was just born.
Right.
The same way the baby, when the umbilical cord is cut, the baby is pure.
Right.
And the baby has all the possibilities and all the potential of the world.
Right.
So too, we, every day, you and I, have that same potential every single day to not be held back by any constraints of the past. Full potential.
Right.
The person will say, I can't learn Gemara. What do you mean you can't? You couldn't learn Gemara yesterday, but now you're a new guy. Who said you can't learn Gemara today? Who said?
Right.
Try. You'd be surprised. Try. Yeah, I'm just giving you one example.
Yeah.
People are held back by things. It's, huh?
It really happened to me. Like, you know, some books like I was like opened before, I couldn't understand, like, you know, Rashi or something, and sometimes later I opened it like I understand.
Wow.
It was just like,
You're a new
how did that
person.
happen, you know? I didn't really even work on it that much, you know.
No, but you're working.
You're also not the
Still,
same person you were then. You're a new person.
Yeah.
You're working,
I
Sasha.
felt
You're
like
working.
doing
No,
something.
that's the whole point. You are working. That's the whole point. Everything you're doing, all the times you're learning, and you're saying Tehillim, you're saying this, and you're learning. That's all part of it, and it all adds up. It all adds up, and then when you read it, wow, that's what he's saying. Wow.
That's literally what happened.
You see that?
Yeah.
It is the best feeling in the world, right?
Yeah.
That's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, like now open it and I can read it and understand it.
No, but that feeling of understanding what you're learning that you thought you couldn't do, and now you can understand. That feeling is like something. Wow, it's not describable. It's not. It's an Olam Haba moment. Really, it's something you can't describe. Right? It's something so beautiful. All right, lekabel kedusha say okay. Aval kedusha shar hamaychen, but the other zakenim, what they were able to remember. Shal shara zakenim einam misgalen chutz klal. They're not revealed outside. They're not michutz. They don't go out. They're all inside. They're all internal. All of those memories are all internal memories, right? They don't go out michutz. They're all inside. They're not revealed. Rak shekol oiram nelomim, right? They're all hidden. They're all hidden. Rak beparshia shegoizenim, right? Bifnim, right? They're put inside, right? You're hiding them. They're hidden inside the side. B'soich habatim. The same way. Look how nice Rav Nosson is saying. We're reminding of the Ritzua, right? The Ritzua, the Kesher, the Tefillin is outside the Tefillin, right? The Parshiyas, right? The scriptures, they're inside the boxes. So the same way, I can relate to the Ritzua because I see it. I don't see the Parshas. They're inside. They're internal. So to the mind of these Zekanim, the other Zekanim, was so lofty. It's all internal. Wow. It's not inside. And it's not something I can relate to. It's internal. That's why it's locked up in the box. Because it's internal.
So the main part of the tefillin you're paying for, you're never going to see.
No, you can't. No, you should. No, you should. No, David.
Once they're in, you're never going to see them again, though.
No, but when you take your tefillin to get checked, you could take a look at it.
Yeah.
You can ask the sofa to open up the tefillin, and you can see the parshas. It's a very nice thing to do.
But it's rare. It's a rare time.
But you can. But you
You just
can.
have to ask.
I have a photocopy. They made me a photocopy of my parsha. I go, yeah, I have a photocopy of the parshas. Yeah. No, so it's nice to see. To know what.
Do they do that every 7 years, or
some people say two times in 7 years.
2 times in 7 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm due.
All right, so you'll go in and then say to tell the soap you want to see the parsha.
Yeah.
He'll let you see it. There's no problem. And you can even ask him to make you a copy of it, so you have a copy of it. He'll do that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make you a copy of the parsha. Write a picture or a copy, right? Shemisham mikablan kedushasam derech haloma. Because they get it, their kedusha is from a derech haloma. It's a hidden. It's something high. It's hidden. It's not something I can relate to. Now we understand why the parshas are inside. See, Rav Nosson's explaining to us the whole system here, how the tefillin are actually built, right? The mabarta, the strap goes through. Now the bias has the parsha inside. That's like the eight zekanim, right? The 8 that the blind guy told us about, right? So those are the 8 parshas that go inside the tefillin, right? Those are the 8 parshas.
So you know what? Today you can get an MRI and get a brain scan and get a picture of
the brain,
of what's inside your head.
Yeah. Amazing, right? You get a picture of what's inside, right? No, but the picture that we get inside of it, that's just a physical picture.
Right,
it's really
right,
what's inside. And they can't take a picture of that yet. That they can't do. They can't do
The
that.
Arizal could.
No, but what?
The Arizal could. The Holy Ari could do that.
Oh, the tzaddikim, of course, the
They
tzaddikim.
can look at your
Oh,
brain.
the tzaddikim can, of course, the tzaddik. That's not somebody. When they're not talking about not something
Right,
physical.
right.
Again, the tzaddik, because the tzaddik sees the neshama. Right. We said that, right?
Right.
When you walk into the tzaddik, you feel something special because the tzaddik's not looking at the external goof of the person. He sees the neshama that walked in, right? He sees the neshama. Unreal, right? Seeing the neshama. So that's why now we understand why the parshiyos are hidden inside the boxes and they're not revealed. That's like the 8 that we're talking about times, different things that were so abstract. Can we use that word?
Yeah.
Maybe they're very abstract, right? They're very, very, very abstract. Okay. The Hester ki kedushas hazikaron shelahem mioid naala mitanu, because their memory is much, much, much higher than us, much higher than anything we can actually recall. Kamuvan la maskil, that's understood by one that really understands. You understand? When you understand the concept of really what we're trying to say over here. In other words, people get hung up on their memory. They get hung up, oh, this happened, that happened. Okay, so it happened. Okay, so get over it. It's fine. You're new now. You understand? People are just stuck, and they're just stuck in the past. They can't go further. They're stuck in the past. This guy did this to me. This guy did that to me. Okay, so he did it. It's done.
I just had a thought that maybe,
Yeah.
that's the reason there's so much Alzheimer's now, because people got so much stuff they put in their heads.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they're filled up with
And they
junk.
they can't think about that last final moment of their life, right? People are scared, right? When they get older, they're thinking that last day of their life, they're so scared of that last day to think about that last day.
Yeah.
So they just try to just block it. It's something that just happens. They don't remember anything. Wow. But the whole point is the holy memory. So, okay, Baruch Hashem, Haidul Hashem Kitay, we finished. And tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, we'll pick it up with Yud Zayin. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Kol Tuv.